Hello there. Good morning from Vienna, but good evening, good afternoon, where you're tuning in from. Hello from the UK. Oh, I love seeing people tune in from all sorts of places. We got morning from Zambia, from Spain. Oh, wonderful. Good morning from Canada. Oh, I love it. I love it. From Sydney, Australia. Your Monday. Well done. My Monday is knocked out. Love it. Nigeria. Good morning, folks from New Zealand, from Nigeria. Love it. This makes me so happy to see. Hope everybody is doing well today, and welcome to week 3 of the free JavaScript bootcamp that we're doing in collaboration with Class Central and FreeCodeCamp. If you're tuning in for the first time and wondering what's going on, hi, my name's Ramón. We're doing a free JavaScript bootcamp to cover the JavaScript algorithms and data structures certification of FreeCodeCamp.org. Let's start off by throwing out some links, folks, where you can go find stuff. If you want to check out the bootcamp, you can still sign up. It's self-paced. More on that later. So you can go find all of the recording and the lesson materials on classcentral.com. You can sign up at freecodecamp.org to follow along. And we've also, we got lots of people signed up, so you can go ask questions and discuss stuff at group.classcentral.com. You'll also find that we've got a community Discord. If you want to ask questions there, you're totally free to. And we do have a code of conduct. We expect all learners to abide by this. And if you have any concerns about that or anything else, any other feedback or something you want to give us, please send us an email to bootcamp@class-central.com. And people are asking how I'm doing. How kind. I'm doing well, thank you. It's Monday morning, so I'm always a little bit sleepy, but good. Can't complain. Had a good weekend. Got lots of resting done. Like very little coding, just making sure I was well rested and ready for today, because we are ready to dive into the next set of lessons. So let me share my screen here to take us to where we will be learning next. Now, before we go into there, let's talk about what we had for homework. Last week, we finished off ES6 or ECMAScript 2015, and the homework was to finish off the rest of the lessons, which I haven't done. I should do. I'm behind on my homework, clearly. But I'll get it done. But today we're going to be going into regular expressions, which you may or may not have heard about before. Totally fine if you haven't, because that's what we're going to do today. We're going to learn about them. And in short, regular expressions are a tool used in lots of programming languages, not just JavaScript. So it's a tool for matching and replacing pieces of text inside strings or patterns, because text will come in patterns. I'll give you an example of a pattern. An email address. There's a couple of expectations that we have about an email address. For example, an email address will not have spaces in it. An email address will have dash separated or not dash separated piece of text, an @ sign followed by a domain, something.com or something.org or example.co.uk, right? So what does this mean? This means that we can use regular expressions as a tool to be like, hey, is this an email address based on that pattern? So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to learn how to use those, how to write them, and how to get familiar with them. And as Kiki very importantly reminds us, by the end of the stream, we will have a Q&A. So I will be going through as many lessons as I can within the next hour and then dedicate another half hour to just making sure that all of your questions are answered. Remember, I will prioritize questions about the material, but if you have any questions, for example, about previous lessons or maybe an exercise you'd like to cover again, we can totally do that. So let's dive right in. Let's go to our first exercise using the test method, which always sounds a little ominous, doesn't it? Now, before we start reading up about how regexes work, I want to clarify one thing. Regular expressions are often shortened to the term regex. So you might hear me say regular expression, you might hear me say regex, and they mean the same thing. So let's look at our code real quick, because we've got 3 lines of code here. We've defined 3 variables. One is called myString, which has as value the string hello world. And then line 2 has a variable called myRegex, which then has hello, But instead of using quote marks, we're using forward slashes. Yeah? So in between those forward slashes is how we tell JavaScript, hey, this is a regex. And quote marks are not required within that regular expressions. So we see we've got hello world. We see we've got the pattern regex, the pattern hello. And what we can do with JavaScript is use something called the test method to find out if the text hello is present in there. Now, folks, I'm seeing some comments in the chat that my video is coming through blurry. If that's the case, you want to make sure that your stream is set to 1080p or the highest HD possibility. I'm streaming directly from my computer, so unless I'm having internet issues, which I hope I'm not, make sure that you've got a good solid connection going. That said, if it continues, don't worry. Remember, this is recorded on YouTube and will stay there. Okay. So what we can do, let's say if we see our code here on the left, we've got a test string called FreeCodeCamp. We've got a test regex with code inside it. And then we're using test regex.test test string. The test method here returns true. I want to try this out real quick. Let me just copy this code and paste it. Okay, so test string FreeCodeCamp, test regex code, and then on the regex text regex, we're calling the function test and passing to it as a parameter test string. Now, let's console log that. You all know how much I love console logging. Okay. Let me just make sure that this is coming through because I'm not seeing an output show up. Console log hello. Okay, it would appear that console log isn't working at the moment, which is odd, but sometimes this happens in FreeCodeCamp that some of the exercises expect us to use it, but doesn't show up. So don't worry if console log doesn't work right now. I will tell you what's going on here instead. So calling test on a regex will return true if the pattern is present, and it will return false if the pattern is not present. So what the regex will do is say, okay, my pattern is code with a capital C. It is text sensitive. It might be text sensitive. We'll get to that in a second. We'll see FreeCodeCamp. It'll look in the string FreeCodeCamp and see, okay, I can see the word code is there. Good. So that will return true. But if I put in the pattern coder, it will look in the string FreeCodeCamp. It will not find the pattern coder. So testing this regex for this string will return false. Let's try the same thing now with here. We've got hello world, we've got the pattern hello, and we've got my regex. So we'll do my regex.test, test with one T, my string. Apply the regex, my regex on the string, my string using the test method. Let's run our tests and see if it works. Oh dear. Looks like nothing is working today. I'm just going to give my browser a quick refresh. Let's try it again. Console log hello. Hey, it's working now. Sometimes you have to refresh your browser. Sorry, folks. Let's try that again. Let's console log result. There we go. So result equals to my regex.test my string is returning true, which is fantastic. Let's try it now with something that doesn't match, like hello with a G, gello. You'll see it's returning false. Now we can test and see if it's case sensitive. Lowercase h. Also false. So by default, regular expressions are case sensitive, which is good to know. Capital H gives us true. So the pattern hello with a capital H is matching this string. Cool. Let's run our tests. And there we go. I like to end each lesson with a nice pat on the back because we've done a good job. And we're going to carry on to the next exercise. Cool. So last time, in the last exercise, we matched for the word hello. Let's see what else this holds. And this is called a literal match, right? We're searching with the regex in the string for the literal term hello last time. But what do we have here? Let's see. We've got a variable called Waldo is hiding. Somewhere Waldo is hiding in this text. Then we've got a variable called Waldo regex with the term search in it. And then the result is being set to Waldo regex.test Waldo is hiding. So let's console log that and see if the regex is being matched in the string. Console log. Feel free to throw out your theories. Okay, so the pattern search is nowhere in this text, which makes sense. Nowhere in this text does it say search. So what is it we want to do? We want to complete the regex to find Waldo in the string Waldo is hiding. So if I were to type in Waldo, that would return true. Fantastic. So with the regex of Waldo, we're telling the regex, hey, search for the literal string Waldo. Nothing else. If I put in Waldo with a lowercase w, not going to work. However, what about Aldo? That's interesting. It's giving us true. Why? Because it's not about words. It's about the literal pattern of string. You see, in the string, it's going to look for the search term Aldo. So we look in our text. Oh, yeah, there's Aldo. If I put it with a space, however, that's going to give us false because there is no literal space Aldo. There's W Aldo, but not space Aldo. What about something that matches more than once? For example, the letter I. That's giving us true because in this string, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letter I's. Does that make sense? So as soon as it matches once, it says, yep, this matches. So again, looking for Waldo gives us true. Let's run our tests. So far, so good. Pat. Let's keep going. I'm going to have a sip of water. Now, so far, we've been searching for literal strings, right? But we can actually use regexes to be a little bit more loose with its pattern matchings. Let's say we want to use, let's see, what do we got here? The string, James has a pet cat, and the regex is just change, and result is testing the regex for in the string pet string. Let's console log that. Result. It's going to give us, what is it going to give us? False, right? Because nowhere in this string, James has a pet cat, is the word change. So far, so good. Now, what if we want to change this? Let's see what the exercise says. Complete the regex pet regex to match the pets dog, cat, bird, or fish. And that's the keyword there, or. Because with regexes, we can use something called the or operator to match different possibilities. You can see, for example, in the instructions, we can match either the word yes, and here's the operator, which is a pipe. It's not a slash, it's not a capital I. You'll find a pipe, I think it's usually on the right side of your keyboard, and you might need to hit Alt or Shift to be able to reach it. And yeah, it's a straight line. For example, what if I wanted to make sure that this has the word cat in it? I would use the regex cat. That's giving us true. But as the exercise says, what if I wanted to match dog as well? You can use the or operator. Remember, that's a pipe. And then we can type in the other pattern we wanted to also match, cat or dog. Carlos very helpfully says, Alt +1 in Spanish keywords. Now have a look on your keyboard. You might be able to find it. If you don't find it, I also find that, for example, Googling pipe operator or pipe symbol might help you. Cool. So that's how you can match cat or dog. If I remove cat from my string, neither cat nor dog are represented in the string, so that's going to give us false. If I have James has a pet dog, that'll give us true because it is matching for dog. If I have cat, true. What if I have bird? That gives us false. Again, if we want to match bird as well, we can chain lots of or operators. Cat or dog or bird. True. So either if the string has cat or dog or bird, it matches. And Asanta very helpfully is saying, as a reminder, do not include spaces in or, because regexes are literal, which means if there's a space in there, it's going to be like, all right, I'm going to look for a space then, which, yeah, you don't want to have, unless you want to have the space, of course. So we got James has a pet bird. What if James has a pet fish? James has a lot of pets. So dog, cat, bird, or fish. Again, we can chain another one. Cat or dog or bird or fish. This is true. That's how we use the or operator. And believe it or not, that should be it. Let's run our tests. And there we go. Pat, pat. Keep on going. Of course, FreeCodeCamp is an open source and freely distributed platform, which depends on nonprofit donations. So only if you can, please, if you want to throw them a couple bucks, that's super kind of you. I do so, not in this account because I need to have an empty account in order to do the bootcamp, but I do so in another account. But yeah, don't stress about it. You can always ask later. So let's keep going. Yeah, so we've seen so far that regexes are case sensitive, but what if we wanted to be case insensitive? Well, regexes give us a tool to be able to do that. So let's take a look at our code here. We've got FreeCodeCamp, we've got the pattern change, and then we are testing that pattern with the string myString. Let's console log that result. What'll that give us? False, of course. Change is not in FreeCodeCamp. Now, if I wanted to match FreeCodeCamp, I can go FreeCodeCamp, and that'll be true. But what if I want to make it case insensitive? What if I wanted to just write FreeCodeCamp like this, which at the moment gives us false? But what if in my sentence, I will have instances of FreeCodeCamp with caps or FreeCodeCamp without? This is where I can use what's called a flag. And this flag is put in after the closing /. There's lots of different kinds of flags. The one that we're going to use is called the case insensitive flag, or I. So if you put in this I, again, after the regex, you're telling the regex engine, hey, I don't care about uppercase or lowercase. So check it out. FreeCodeCamp with the case insensitive flag gives us true. Let's remove it again just to be sure. False. What's our exercise? Write a regex, FCC regex, to match FreeCodeCamp no matter its case. Your regex should not match any abbreviations or variations with spaces. We're not doing any of that here. We just need that I. There you go. Let's run our tests. And there we go. Pat, pat. Moving right along. I see some questions coming in. Love that you're asking these. Just going to bookmark those for the end during the Q&A, and we'll come back to that. All right. So next, we're going to find out not just whether the string matches the regex, but what that match is, which is interesting. Let's take a look at this. But before we do anything with our code, let's take a look at this example on the left. We've got a string hello world on which we call the function match, and we pass to it the regex hello. I want to console log that and see what it looks like. So we're just going to copy that. I'm going to store that in a variable. Regex match is equals to, and then we're calling, let me make this a little bit wider. There we go. Let regex max equals hello world.match hello. Let's console log that. Okay, we've got a bit of stuff in here. We've got the result, hello, we're seeing the index of the string where that match takes place. Because hello is at the beginning of the string, remember indexes start at 0. That's why we see index 0. Input is hello world. That is the amount, that is the string that we use. And then we've got groups, which is undefined. And I'm going to be a little bit mean and ask that we ignore that for the time being, because it'll come back. But what if we had a match that's not at the beginning? Say we had, instead of hello, we had LO. Look at the difference. The match is LO. That's good. The index is 1. Looks good. The input is hello world, and the groups is undefined. Same goes with in case insensitive. Still the same. LO, index 1, and so on and so forth. But what if we match more than one thing? Say, for example, we wanted to match the letter E or the letter O. Here we go. We matched the letter E, index 1, input hello world, and groups undefined. So what's going on here? Because there's an E, but there's also an O, but the match is only giving me the E. Why? That's because as soon as it finds its first match, it says, I'm done. I found a match. It's the letter E. Now, Carlos, you're throwing out a letter G here. I'm going to be a little bit mean and say, let's come back to that, because we will. So that's how matching works. But I want to highlight something pretty important that the instructions do here as well. When you're doing a match, you're calling it on the string. We're saying, hey, string, find the matches for this regex. When we're testing, as we were doing before, we were saying, hey, regex, test yourself on this string. Very, very important to remember the order of that. So again, we're on the string, we're finding matches, and we're testing a regex. That's the mnemonic that I like to use. That's the pattern I like to say. Find the matches in a string and test a regex. So what do we have now? What's our exercise? Apply the match method to extract the string coding. And it's that extraction that's really the ticket here. So what do we have? We have extract string, extract the word coding from this string. We have a regex called change, and we have a result set to be extract string. So let's console log result as always. Right now, result is just the string. Extract the word coding from the string. So the first thing we want to do is change the regex, because we want to match the word coding. So far, so good. But now we want to extract it. So we will do that with extract string. Remember, we call match on the string with the regex, coding regex. And there we go. We've extracted the word coding. Remember, if we wanted to test the regex for the string, we would do it the other way around. Coding regex.test extract string, which should give us either true or false. Because coding is matched in the string, it returns true. So that's matching. Let's run our tests. Looking good. Pat, pat. Let's keep going. You see, Carlos, we're already doing something with a G. So as we were saying last time, right? Let me just take a look at our code here real quick. We've got a string called twinkle star with twinkle twinkle little star. We're using star regex to do change, and we want the result to be stored in twinkle star. So what if we wanted to match the word twinkle more than once? And this is where it gets interesting. Let's first console log result. Right now, result is just a string, so it's giving us twinkle, twinkle, little star. And let's say I wanted to match the word twinkle more than once. Cool. And we want the result to be twinkle star. Dot match, not hatch, match star regex. Okay, let's take a look at our little analysis here. We are matching the word twinkle. We're getting it at the index 9. That's because this twinkle is capitalized. So if we wanted to match twinkle regardless of the capitalization, remember from the previous lesson, we use the flag. Now it's matching it regardless of capitalization. So now we're matching the first twinkle, which is good. But remember, it only matches once. And as soon as it's done matching, it's like, all right, I'm good. So what if you wanted to match more than once? That's where the global matching flag comes in. So we can use the G. And G will tell us, hey, there might be more than one instance of this pattern. Please match it. And it found it. Twinkle. So that's good. But hold on a minute. It's no longer case insensitive. What if I wanted to match globally and in a case insensitive fashion? Well, you can use more than one flag in a regex. So you can use G and I. Now let's look at what we've got. We got twinkle and twinkle. It's a global matching, so it matches both, and it's case insensitive. So it matches either capital T twinkle or lowercase t twinkle. Now I know some of you are going to ask, so I'm going to head that off right at the pass. You can do either GI or IG. The order does not matter. Let's take a look at our exercise real quick. Using the regex star regex, find and extract both twinkle words from the string twinkle star. You can have multiple flags on your regex like search GI. Now, Enterpreet's got a question that I want to answer. Can we not just console log just use coding regex? No. Let me show you what happens. Console log star regex. It's just being like, all right, here's your regex. What do you want me to do with it? You know? So the regex needs to be paired with a string to do the actual matching. If you're just printing out a regex, it's just like, all right, there it is. You know? So we really want to be console logging the result of the matching. And as Carlos says, we now have a weird array and now just have an array of matches, which is true. Our result is an array of matches. So that's cool. Let's run our tests and see how that looks. There we go. Pat, pat. Let's submit and go to the next lesson. All right. This is where regular expressions get a little bit weird. Before I do anything, I want to show you something called the wildcard operator. So let's ignore what we have here and make our own pattern here. Let's have a string, my string called hello. We'll have my regex with hello. And then we'll have a let my result equals my regex.test my string. Let's console log my result. Okay, so this is giving us false because the regex is with a capital H, the string is with a lowercase h, and I want to match. Right now it's case sensitive. So I have two options here. I think I'll make it just case insensitive. There we go. Now it's true. However, let's pretend that we don't care what the last character is. It can be anything. It can be a number. It can be a space. To use a wildcard, that is basically essentially telling the regex, hey, you can be anything. This is where the dot comes in. Wait, hold on. I don't want to have that word. Let's say we want, hold on, bear with me. Let's say we want the fourth letter to be anything. So instead of there being an L there, let's say that that L can be anything. The dot tells the regex, hey, this character at this position can be anything. It can be a number, and let's try it out. It can be a space. It can be, what else could it be? A semicolon. It doesn't care what this character is. Why is this useful? Let's say we wanted to rhyme anything that rhymes with cat. For example, cat. Okay? So this will work with cat, of course, but it'll also work with bat and hat and mat and hat. Huh? Pat, see? Yeah. I'm sorry. Anyway, I got excited. Manoj is asking, what if we add 5 dots? Will it equal to hello? Good question. Let's find out. Hello. Dot. That'll give us true because it doesn't care what the first one, the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth is. As long as there are 5 characters present in the string, we're good. What if there's 4? It does, there. What if there's less? Then it's not. Because there aren't enough. Because the regex is saying there needs to be at least 5 characters. But in this string, there's 3. Does it care how many times it's repeated? I'm not sure I understand the question. Let's save that for the Q&A. Like, let's rephrase that question again, please, Simplicity, because I don't quite understand it. And let's save it for the Q&A. Okay, so that's how the wildcard operator works. Complete the regex unregex so that it matches the strings run, sun, fun, pun, none, and bun. Your regex should use the wildcard character. So let's have fun. So the string is, let's have fun with regular expressions. We've got the unregex that says change, and we've got the result, which is testing the regex. Console log result. That's false because the word change is not present in our string. So if we wanted to match the word fun, that would give us true. But if we wanted to match run, sun, fun, pun, none, and bun, we could match fun or run or sun or fun or pun or none or bun. Or we could use a wildcard to match anything that's followed by un, which is the wildcard operator. Anything that's followed up with, it could be anything followed up with un. We have that here. Let's have fun. Let's run our tests. And there we go. Pat. Okay. So we've now learned to match literal patterns and wildcard characters. Ooh. But what if we wanted to match a single one of a series of characters? Let's use, what is this called? Character classes. Let's play around with it. Again, I'm going to make my own string. Let's go with cat again. And we will have my regex equals to cat. And we will console log my regex.test my string. So is the pattern cat present within my string? Yes. Now, if I wanted to rhyme words, if I wanted to match words that rhyme with cat, that's where we could use the wildcard operator. But what if I wanted to match a string that rhymes with cat, but only of a select few? What if I wanted to rhyme only cat, bat, hat, or pat? Cat, hat, bat, or pat. We could use the or operator to put cat or bat or hat or pat, Or we could use character classes, which in regexes are done with square brackets. So inside the square brackets, you're telling regex, hey, match a character that's any one of these. C, B, H, P. So it'll take a look. So this looks a little bit gnarlier now, but bear with me. So this regex will take a look at the string and say, well, does CAT match? Yes, we're good. Same goes for B. It'll be like, does CAT match? No. Does BAT match? Yes. Same goes for hat. Same goes for pat. But same does not work for mat. Why? Because it's not in this character class. So we can do that to match very specific characters, and it doesn't have to be at the beginning. This can be anywhere. Let's try another example. What if I wanted to match either cat or car or, oh my goodness, can? So CAT works. Car works. Can works. Cab does not. Cap. Wow, look at you all having the same thought process. Cap, huh? Love it. So yeah, cap will not work. So that's character classes. Now, let's take a look at our exercise real quick. Use a character class with vowels, that is A, E, I, or U, in your regex, vowel regex, to find all of the vowels in the string quote sample. Be sure to match both upper and lowercase vowels. Cool. So what do we got here? A quote sample. Beware of bugs in the above code. I have only proved it correct, not tried it. We've got a vowel regex with change, and we've got a result equals vowel regex. Let's console log our result as always. Cool. That's giving us change because we're just printing out the regex. But we want to match all of the vowels. So first, we want to find all matches. So if we want to do matches, we'll just use the match function. So we call that on the string, quote sample.match, and then vowel regex. That's giving us null. This is because there are no matches of string inside this. There is no matches of change, pardon me, inside this string. Right? Beware of bugs in the above code. I've only proved it correct, not tried it. Change is not present. So first, let's match those vowels. A, E, I, O, U. All right. We found one match, the letter E. Why is it the letter E? Because remember, it's not global yet. So it's finding the first vowel, the letter E, and saying, here you go, the letter E. So first thing we got to do is have it match more than one vowel. Remember, that's the global flag, or G. Now, things get a little bit more interesting. E, A, E, O, U, I, E, A, look at all those vowels. That's a lot of vowels. Cool. We've matched all of our vowels. Let's run the tests. Aha! You should find that. Now see, I've made a mistake. You should find all 25 vowels, and your regex vowel regex should use the case insensitive flag. Let's fix the first problem first. How many vowels did I find? Remember, we can use JavaScript to do that. Result.length. I found 24 vowels. So what's going on? And the error told us again what the problem is. Your regex should use the case insensitive flag. Why? That's because the letter I, in I have only proved it, is uppercase. So if I want to do this correctly, I should use the G1, which is good, but also I. Now the result length is 25. Look at you all being like, you have to add the I flag, I capital. Thank you. Exactly. Exactly. So now let's take a look. Result. Let's take a look at our group there. EA, blah, blah, blah. Look at that. There's our capital I. That's what I love about doing these exercises, because the errors are really helpful for helping me find those. Let's run our tests. And there we go. Thank you all for your help, Pat. Let's move on to the next one. Matching letters of the alphabet. Ooh. So we can also use character classes to match characters within a range. What does that mean? I want to play around with our exercise right away. Our string is the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. We've got a regex and we've got a result. Console log result. There's our change. Cool. It's matching the regex. Now, what if I wanted to match any letters? So first I need to do my test. Alphabet regex.test quote sample. This is giving us false because change is not inside the quick brown fox. Now, we can use, so let's say we wanted to match any letters between A and D, right? Letters come in an order, of course. Now, we have 3 ways of doing this that I can think of. One is to do A or B or C or D. That works because there's an A and a D. Cool. Another way of doing this is with a character class. A or B or C or D. Also good. But you'll notice that all the letters between A and D, and it's that between that's the key word, that's inside a range. So we can use a dash inside a character class to say, hey, match all the letters between A and D. So that's a range of characters. What's our exercise? Ooh. Match all the letters in the string quote sample. Be sure to match both uppercase and lowercase letters. So we'll do one thing at a time. First of all, this is a test, and we don't want to do a test. We do want to do a match. So it's quote sample, if I could spell, dot match alphabet regex. Mohammed is asking, will A and D be included? I think so. We can see that. Let's say there's an A, because right now it's matching the C, right? Yep, there it is. The A is included. The D is included. It's a good question. Thank you. It's an inclusive range. I think that's the term. All right. So right now it's matching only one letter, the letter C, which is good, but we want to make this global. First of all, there it is. CBAD, fantastic. However, we want to match all letters, so we want to use A to Z. There we go. Hey, quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Cool. However, notice the T is missing because the T is capitalized, and this range is lowercase. So we already know by now we want to use the case insensitive flag. There we go. The quick brown fox jumps, this is hard to read, over the lazy dog. So that's how we do that with inclusive range, global match, case insensitive. And it's match all the letters, none of the spaces, just the letters. Let's run our tests. There we go. Pat. Let's keep going. Ooh. So what if we wanted to match letters or numbers? Let's do that right here. Look at folks posting regexes into the chat. I love it. Love to see it. So if we wanted to, let's just go straight into our exercise. Create a regex that matches a range of letters between H and S and a range of numbers between 2 and 6. Remember to include the appropriate flags in the regex. So let's do that. First, we want to match. So that's, let's see, quote sample.match by regex. That's cool. Let's console log that as always. Result. No, null, because there's no matches of string inside Blueberry 3.141592653s are delicious. Ah, that's a cute joke. This is called pie. Love it. So Blueberry pies are cool. Now, if we wanted to match the letters between, excuse me, between H and S, we can do a character class for everything between H and S. It's all well and good. However, it's only matching one letter. So we want to make that case insensitive. Pardon me, global. There it is. We also want it to have be case insensitive just in case. So we'll add an I. Now notice it didn't change. That's because there are no capital H's and S's. So it doesn't need to be case insensitive, but I'm going to leave it there just in case. Next, we want to match numbers. And just how we did that with letters, we can have ranges of numbers as well. So if we want to match between 2 and 6, inside our character class, we can have 2-6. So what we're telling the regex now is match any character that's a letter between H and S, or any character that is a number between 2 and 6. Have a look. 3, 5, 2, 6, 5, 3. Now it's matching all of those letters between those two ranges. Let's run our tests. And there we go. Pat, pat. On to the next one. So what we're going to be doing next is matching characters that we don't want to find. What does that mean? Let's see. We've got a quote sample here that says 3 blind mice. We've got a regex called change. We've got a result. So what if we were to... Oh, okay. I'm gonna save that question. Simplicity, this is a great question. What about H to S and 2 to 6? We will get back to that. I promise. This is a great question. And I'm going to explain why when we do the Q&A. Match single characters not specified. Yeah, so we want to check that a letter is not present in a regex. For example, my regex.test quote sample. So what if we wanted to check, let's console log result. Right now it's false because the word change is not in 3 blind mice. Now, what if we wanted to check that there are no instances of the letter A in this string? We will use what's called the caret. Let's see if I can find that character. Give me a sec. Oh no, I didn't anticipate that I would need the caret character. Whew, there it is. It kind of looks like a chapeau. I think it's like Alt Shift 6 on English keyboards, or 7. I forget. You will find it Shift and then along the number row of your keyboard. That's the caret. And we want to check that the letter A is not present in our string. So what's going on here? We were saying, hey, is the letter A not present in 3 blind mice? Yes. This pattern matches. Is the letter A in the string? It is. Pardon me, it's not. So if I do it without the not, it's false. I said that a little confusingly. Let me try again. What if I wanted to make sure that the letter A is present? I would check, hey, is the letter A here? False. What if I wanted to make sure that the letter A is not present? Then I would use the character class and the caret or chapeau with A. Is the character A not present in 3 blind mice? Yes, it's not. It is not present. As soon as I enter a letter A into the string, oh, hold on a minute. I said that completely wrong. I apologize. is there a character in this string that is not the letter A? True. What does that mean? I'm sorry, folks. I spoke completely wrong. Let me start over. This is going to look in our string for any character that is not the letter A. So it looks at the number 3. Is 3 not the letter A? Yes. Now, what if the string has only the letter A? It's going to look through the whole string for a character that is not the letter A and return false. But as soon as I put in a B, it'll find one that is not the letter A and return true. Cool. And this works for ranges as well. So for example, if I wanted to match any string that is not within A and B, I'm going to return false because all of these letters here are inside that range. Same goes for A to C, also false. A to D, A to E. What if I wanted to find a string that is made up of anything except lowercase letters? For example, let's look at 3 blind mice again. Does this string have letters? Yes. But does this string have any characters that are not letters? Yes. The number 3. What if I just had blind mice? Carlos is asking, could you show the result of match AG, for example? Yes, I will. Thank you. So blind mice does not have characters that are not letters, so it returns false. If it's capitalized, it will. That's because this is a lowercase. So if I wanted to do it case insensitive, add the I, there it is. There are no characters in the string that are not a letter. So what does this mean with matching, which is what Carlos is asking? Let's look at 3 blind mice again. Now, let's make this be a match instead. Quote sample.match my regex. So it's matching, remember, the first character that is not a letter, which is the number 3. But of course, we know that there are 2 more characters in here that are not letters. This space and this space. So we'll make that a global match. Now look what we have. Now we've got 3, space, and space. These are the 3 characters in our string that is not a letter. But let's look at the exercise again. Create a single regex that matches all characters that are not a number or a vowel. So we want to do that with A to Z and 0 to 9. Now it's going to check for every character that is neither a number, a string, nor a number. And that gives us the 2 spaces. What if I wanted to do it the other way around? Can I do that? 0 to 9 or A to Z? Yes, totally. Now look at what we've done with this regex. We have found all of the spaces in a string. That's pretty cool. That's pretty powerful. This also lets us find punctuation marks. 3 blind mice exclamation marks gives us the exclamation mark. So let's go back to Carlos's example. What if we wanted to match not A? Let's have a look. Oops. Oops, sorry, I forgot the character class. There we go. All of the characters that are not A in our string. It's 3, the space, blind, space, mice. Mohammed's asking, what if we add space? Add space. Oh, you mean like have a space here? Let's do it. Oh, this will be interesting. Now look at this. So now we're matching for every character pattern that is not the letter A and followed by a space. So we've got 3 space and D space. So any character that is not the letter A followed by a space is 3 in space and D in space. It's a good question. Cool. But again, let's look at our exercise. Create a single regex that matches all characters that are not a number nor a vowel. So that's 0 to 9 and A to Z. There we go. Let's run our tests. Your regex, my regex should match 9 items. Looks like I've done, oh, I added that exclamation mark. My bad. Your regex, my regex should match 9 items. Matches all characters that are not a number nor a vowel. Your regex should match 9 items. All characters that are not a number or a vowel. Oh, a vowel! Ah! I thought it said letter. Thank you, Asante. My bad. So, A, E, I, O, U. My bad. Let's console log result again. There we go. There's the spaces, blend and ms. See, these things are confusing. All right, run the tests. Still not working. Why is that? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That are number, not the original dot. Oh, right. Thank you. Well, the vowels are there, folks. I forgot to put the dot back in the string. See? Look at y'all paying much more attention than me. There we go. Pat. Good teamwork. Love it. All right. Let's match characters that occur 1 or more times. Ooh, this is where things get even more interesting. So we can use the plus character to match if a character occurs more than once. Let's see what that means, not here, but messing around in our code. We've got a difficult spelling, which is Mississippi. We want a regex with right now has changed, and we're console logging the result, difficult spelling.match. Let's do that. Console.log result. Right now that's null because change doesn't match in Mississippi. So what if we wanted to match any pattern where the letter S occurs more than once? So once or more. We could do S, right? It's matching the letter S. That's all good. Now, if we wanted to match more than one S, we'll need the G for global. There's all of our S's. Now, what if I wanted to match double S's? Here's a double S. We could do that. Double S, double S. If we wanted to have triple S, we would just put 3 S's. That's then null because there's no triple S. However, what if I wanted to have it be possible to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or more S's? This is where the special character plus comes in. Now it's matching all of the instances where the letter S occurs once or more. Double S, double S. You want to find matches when the letter S occurs 1 or more times in Mississippi. Write a regex that uses the plus sign. And we've done that here. S plus. Remember, that's once or more. And there we go. Pat. We are at the top of the hour. I want to do, I'm going to do 1 or 2 more exercises. I'm going to cut into our Q&A time a little bit. Very sorry, but I want to minimize the amount of homework we have because otherwise I'm going to leave us with a lot of homework. All right. So what if we've got the once or more. What if we wanted to have 0 or more? This is where the star character comes in. So let's try that out. For this challenge, Chewy quote has been initialized with the string arg behind the scenes. That is, somewhere else in the code, there is a string called Chewy quote with the string arg. Create a regex Chewy regex that uses the A character to match an uppercase A character, immediately followed up by 0 or more lowercase a characters in Chewy quote. Your regex does not need flags or character classes, and it should not match any of the other quotes. All right. So let's see. Let's see what happens if I put in the letter A into Chewy regex. And let's console log the result. So we've got the input arg, and there's the letter A. Now, what if we wanted to match one or more A's? We could have the uppercase A followed by a lowercase a with a plus. Now we're going to have, ah. Oh, I like that, Manoj. We are pirates now. Arr. That's good. I like it. Yeah, so if we wanted to have it match one or more A's after the, actually, you know what? I'm going to actually make my own string. Let sample Chewy is equals to arg. I'm going to match sample Chewy instead of Chewy quote. So look at this. This is arg without a lowercase a. If I try and match that with a followed by one or more A's, that is going to give me null. Why? Because there is an a lowercase, uppercase a, but there's no lowercase a. But the exercise is telling us, no, you want it to match it if there is an uppercase a, immediately followed by 0 or more lowercase a's. That's where we'll change the plus to a star. Now it will match, because right now there is an uppercase a followed by 0 or more lowercase a's. Let's restore our Chewy quote. See if that still works. There it is. So the star and the plus are similar. The plus says 1 or more. The star says 0 or more. Let's run our tests. There we go. Pat. Ooh, we're going to do lazy matching now. Let's see what's going on here. We've got some HTML. We've got the H1 tag with the content winter is coming inside of it, and then the closing tag for it. We've got a regex to match an opening tag followed by 0 or more of any character and then closing the tag. And we've got text.match my regex. Let's console log that result. So that's matching everything in between. So we got an opening tag followed by 0 or more characters, and then the the closing tag. Now you might be wondering, hold on a minute, there is a closing tag here. Why didn't it match that? This is because by default, regexes are what is called greedy, meaning it'll try and match as much as it can. Oh, give me all the string. All the string for me. Right? So it matches the biggest string it can match, which is the entire string. However, if we want to match just the inside, this one here, we can tell regex, hey, be lazy. Do what's called a lazy match. This is where we will use something called the laziness operator. Fix the regex, this regex, to return the HTML tag h1 and not the text h1 winter is coming close h1. Remember the wildcard dot in the regular expression matches any character. And to do that, we will just use the question mark. So with the question mark, we're telling the regex, hey, match any of these characters, but be lazy about it. Like, just do the first match you can find, and then you're good. So then it goes, okay, I've got the opening. I've matched a few. Hey, I found a closed one. I'm lazy now. I will close it. And we're done. So it matches that H1. What if we wanted to match both H1s, by the way, folks? Remember, we've got whoop, T for global. Now it's matching both of them. How cool is that? So that's that. Let's remove that G. And there it is, our H1. Let's run the tests. There we go. Pat. Gonna do a couple more and then I'll launch into Q&A. And I promise I won't take up too much of your time. So, yes, we'll end with an exercise. Love it. Find one or more criminals in a hunt. So it's time to pause and test your new regex writing skills. A group of criminals escaped from jail and ran away, but you don't know how many. However, you do know that they stay close together when they are around other people. You are responsible for finding all of the criminals at once. Here's an example to review how to do this. The regex Z plus matches the letter Z when it appears one or more times in a row. It would find matches in all of the following strings. Yep, one or more Z, one or more Zs, one or more Zs, one or more Zs, one or more Zs. But it does not find matches in the following strings since there are no Z characters. Empty string, no Zs. ABC, no Zs. ABC, no Zs. Write a greedy regex that finds one or more criminals within a group of other people. A is a criminal represented by the capital letter C. Oh, sorry, a criminal. Let me try that again. A criminal is represented by the capital letter C. Capital letter, so it's case insensitive and it's greedy. How do we do a greedy regex again? It's when we have it's when we have a default regex. So regexes are by default greedy. And I want to do this with some tests. Does this give us some tests? Oh, nice. Nice. Okay, cool. So let's try one of these. Let test string equals the capital letter C. Your regex should match one criminal C and the string C. There's our string. So console log recriminals test string test string. This is giving us true because it's matching for any character, which is not quite what we want. We want to match the letter C. Your regex should match one criminal C in the string C. Very good. Your regex should match two criminals CC in the string CC. Okay? But if we want to test more than one, we're not really testing anymore. We're grouping. We're matching, pardon me. So test string.match recriminals. Okay, cool. It's matching. Oh, sorry. There we go. CC. There we go. C. There's C, but we want to match both criminals. So that's where the global flag comes in. Now it's matching both criminals. Fabulous. Cool. Next one. Your regex should match three criminals, CCC, in the string. This one. This big character. This big string. I'm just going to copy and paste it in there. And it's matching three criminals. But hold on a minute. I'm doing this wrong because it should catch both of them in one match. So really this should be, yep. Tarane, I hope I'm saying that right. Has it correct? It should be one or more. Oopsie. That looks better. Thank you. There we go. Let's keep going. Your regex should match 5 criminals, 5 Cs in the string, this big string. There it is, 5 Cs. Your regex should not match any criminals in the empty string. Yep, no matches. Yep. Love it. Let's match 50 criminals in here. There it is. I'll have to trust it that looks good. So there it is. And I don't actually need the global anymore because it's really just testing for that one or more. Let's run our tests. And there we go. Pat. Folks, I think this is where I'm going to stop for today. We've done lots, and there's lots to do. So I'm going to trust us all to do well. Owen Code says hello. Hello, Owen Codes. Let's look at homework real quick. And this is going to be a big one. If we go to algorithms and data structures, scroll down. Your homework is going to be to do the rest of regular expressions. So there's 15 out of 33. We need to do all 33 rest of them. And there's going to be some other ways, for example, matching that a pattern is at the beginning of a string, matching that a pattern is at the end of a string, all letters and numbers, and so on. White spaces, non-white space characters, you're going to see the backslash return, exact number of matches, positive and negative look ahead. Folks, this is going to cover a lot. And I want to assure you of something. I've seen some folks in the forums and on Discord saying that not everything is clicking at once. And I want to assure you that that's okay. The purpose of this bootcamp, the purpose of these exercises is not to have them click. Well, I mean, yes, if they click immediately, fantastic. But it's to introduce you to these concepts. And sometimes they won't click immediately. And I want to assure you that you're not doing something wrong or that this isn't for you. This is absolutely for you. It just takes some time for these to click. If they clicked immediately, we'd all be developing software right away. So here's my recommendation. First, come back to these. Come back to the videos. Come back to these exercises. If something seems familiar, if something's like, oh yeah, that kind of reminds me of pattern matching, then you're going right. Then you're going about this the right way. If you're watching me right now and being like, none of this makes sense, that's totally fine as well. These videos are recorded so that you can come back to them and do the homework and catch up. You're not doing anything wrong. You've absolutely got this. If you understand a little bit and you see some questions in the forum and Discord, here's a cheat code. Go and try to explain those answers. I promise you, explaining something is kind of a secret cheat way of learning. It works for me. All right. I've blabbered on for long enough. Tomorrow, as No Sé Programar has a question for us, we will have 2 projects in the next 2 days, right? Yes. Now we enter the tricky parts. No, I'm kidding. Now we entered the projects. So tomorrow, we're going to do the palindrome checker project. And on Wednesday, we're going to do the Roman numeral converter project. So tomorrow we're going to do palindrome. The day after we're going to do Roman numeral. Now, the purpose of me doing these projects with you is to show you how I come about my solution more than giving it to you. It's about the thought process. It's about breaking down the project. I love what Gene says here. I've been programming for years and regex is still magic. And I think that's a very fair assessment because I have the same experience. Yeah. As Jess would say, everything is indeed chill. She's a much better, kinder teacher than I am. So I'm glad she's saying that. All right. Let's do some questions. Kiki, would you mind bringing some up, please? How does regex work under the hood? I'm going to say it right away. I have no idea. Let's go to DuckDuckGo and look it up. How do regexes work? Hoping that we've got maybe MDN. Regular expressions are patterns used to match character combinations. But how do they work? Writing irregular expressions tools. I don't want to know how to use them. What we want to know is how do they work under the hood? Under the hood. Oh, hello. Let me make this a little bit larger, shall I? There we go. No, this is about greedy regexes, which we learned about today. Match method. Well, I can tell you a little bit about the theory of how it works. but I think I did see one article here. Let me see. How regular expressions work. Learn regex. Let's see. Aha! Woo! Okay, okay. Yeah, I've seen this website before. Regular-expressions.info. If you want to read up on how this works, you can read up on it here. This is operated by what's called an engine. So I'm going to post that in the chat. But I'll give you the lowdown, and this is my best understanding of it. Regexes operate by what's called an engine to make sure that a string matches a pattern. And that will use what's called text analysis. It will analyze the string and see if that pattern matches on top of it. I know that's not the best explanation, and quite frankly, I've never really understood how that works. I've just, as Gene Miller said, accepted it as magic. But there are ways, and you can write programs that that interpret regular expressions and then have them match a string. This is what's called compiling a regular expression. Let's do the next question. What are the side effects of regexes? I mean, I think we've been seeing them so far. It lets you check if a string matches a pattern. We can do this to do things like check if an email address is valid, or check if a phone number has the right digits, or oh gosh, there's a whole bunch of other things you can do. You can, for example, use it to make sure that a piece of text does not have unwanted words in it. In fact, a lot of bots do this. Like Discord bots will check a pattern in regex. Does this string have this word that we don't want, or that word that we don't want? Stuff like that. Any other questions? Ooh, sorry. Give me 1 second, Kiki. Manoj says, check that a password is correct. Yeah, that's a very good one. Yep. If you want to check if a password is valid, has at least 8 characters, you can do that with regex, that it has special characters and all that. Thank you, Manoj. That's a good one. Sorry, let's go back. How do we check if a special character is present in a string? Ooh, that's a good question. Let's go back to regex. Yeah. So what you want to know is, okay, we know that, for example, hello world, right? We've got our string hello world, our regex hello, my regex. What if we want to make sure, let me just test my string. What if we want to check console log? So what you're asking is, okay, I know that we can use the full stop to match any character, but what if I wanted to have a regex that tests that we have hello followed by the full stop character? This is where escaping comes in with the backslash. The backslash, remember, like we did in strings, will tell the regex, hey, this next character, not a wildcard, it's a full stop. And I'll show you what I mean. If I do hello with an exclamation mark, it's not going to work anymore. False. But if I remove that backslash, remember that turns it into a wildcard, and then it works again. So that's a great question. And I think the homework covers it too. Next question, please. If you wanted exactly 5, how would you screen for that? That's getting a little bit ahead in the homework, but let's give it a try. So let's say we wanted to have our string, our regex match, that we have exactly 5 characters. Now, what does this mean? Right now, this regex is matching because there are 5 characters in the string. But notice the semantics in my wording. I'm saying there are 5 characters in this string, not there are exactly 5 characters in this string. One way I would check that there are exactly 5 characters, and the homework is going to cover this, so don't worry, is to use the these 2 symbols. Oop, where's my $sign? $sign, where are you? I'm sorry, folks. Give me 1 second. This happens to me all the time. Where is the $sign? Oh my goodness, this is embarrassing. Um, This is what happens when you're put on the spot and you can't find characters on you. There it is. Woo! Okay. Sorry about that. Let's try again. So, what do these two symbols do? We're saying, hey, with this symbol here, it looks like the not one, but we're not in a character class right now. So what this does is tell the regex, hey, the string has to begin with this pattern. So let me rephrase that. Hey, this string that I'm matching must begin with 5 characters. All well and good. But the $sign at the end says, hey, this string must end with those same 5 characters. So if a string must begin and end with 5 characters, then it can only be exactly 5 characters long. There we go. True. If we do LO, then it's false. It's a good question. Thank you. Any other ones? Carlos is saying, mark that key. Yeah, I will. Is there a difference between placing the wildcard character before the regex characters compared to the placement after or at the end of the regex? In placing the wildcard character before the regex characters compared to the placement after or at the end of the regex. Brett, I'm really sorry. I'm struggling to understand the question. I'm so sorry. Is there a difference in placing the wildcard character before the regex characters compared to the placement after or at the end of the regex? So let's say we wanted to have .lo, right? That work. Oh, Brett, thank you. That helps a lot. .un versus undot. Yes, there is absolutely a difference. Let's do fun. I need to have .un. This is any character followed by un. If we did it the other way, we would do it un followed by any character. This no longer matches because we have un, but then nothing afterwards. So yes, it absolutely makes a difference. Great question. Thank you. Greetings from Hungary. Hey, Lajos. Good to see you. Can we match 2, 3 with W and R? Like extract single characters from each word. Do I make sense? I think so. Let's say we have the string 2, 3, and you want it to match what is it? Either W or H. Global. Then you would do my string.match my regex. There it is. You've extracted the W and the H. Next question, please. Can you use the OR operator in the character class? Yes, I think so. I might be wrong. Let's give it a try. Let's do TH or TR. Here it's matching all of those letters. Is that what you meant? I hope so. Hope that helps. Give me the next one. What if we use capital G for global? Let's find out. Let's say we have E and we use a capital G. Unknown regular expression flag. So no, we cannot use capital G. Next one. Does this work if the language is not English? For example, in Spanish, we have ñ. Of course. A ver. Why can't I think of a word with ñ? Okay, don't judge me. It's the only word that came to mind. Nyandu. Right? We've got the animal nyandu, and we want to match for the letter N. In case you're curious, nyandu is a type of bird. So we want to match for nyandu with a lowercase n, so we want to use capital G. Totally works. España, cañas de caño. Listen, folks, the word went for ñandu. I don't know why. Sorry, Spanish speakers. It just happened. Yeah, pañal. There you go. So you can totally do that. Does the job market need developers that specialize particularly in regular expressions? Or is it something that every developer needs to have at least a clue about it? Yes, totally. Like I've said before, when you want to do things like matching that that an email address is valid, doing any kind of text analysis, which is going to come in a lot. Say, for example, you're writing a backend that deals with a lot of code and you want to make sure that that code is valid. You'll be doing a little bit of regular expressions, a little bit of what's called like code analysis using asymmetric syntax trees. But yes, regular expressions are involved. So yeah, absolutely. A good use case is in defining the logic of a form to be filled. Asante is very, very correct here. That's a great use case for making sure, for example, that and this is something that I actually struggled with. For example, my name. Carlos T says, and I'm so glad. Oh, it's like the questions just came in at the same time perfectly because Carlos says, well, let me not get ahead of myself. For example, defining that a name is valid. This is a bug that you might have seen in a lot of forms, especially if your name has characters that are not English, like typically English. For example, checking that a first name is valid. And Carlos very correctly says, but Enye does not match with A to Z. So what happens? Let's do the test again. My regex test. That's true. So, right. But what if I'm trying to match A to Z? Oh no, hold on. Let's see. We want to make sure that my regex, sorry, my string dot my string dot match my regex. And we want it to match all of the letters in the word in my name. Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's do my name. Now take a look. Oh, sorry, forgot the case insensitive one. Cool. Now we've got all of the letters, and this happens to me so often when I fill out a form that it'll say, okay, your name is now Ram. This happens to me all the time. Why? Because the regex that they've written perhaps does not take into account that my name might have a character that is not between A and Z. So how do we fix this? There are perhaps what are called, I think, let's see if we can find one. Regex match all Unicode letters. This will also allow you to match things like, yes, exactly. So \U. So one way to do it is with the \U. Oh, I'm wrong. I should have read what I'm doing. Let's try that again. Unicode characters with properties. Wait, regex match all letters, including accents. Exactly. Right now, my regex is this, but it does not include accent characters. So sets and cases mode anchor matches one character. Oh, I could have sworn there was a nice way to do it. Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. Flag U and the class P. Okay, so there is a way to do it. Fabulous. So we'll do that. Let's do that. So that's P with. This is why it's so hard to get this right. Oh, sorry, L. Oh, it's still not matching. Maybe word? How do I get it to match any character? Actually, regex match all letters, including accents, JavaScript. There we go. Whoa, okay. Here we go. This is what we want. Followed by the Unicode character. So Unicode is a standard for defining all kinds of characters, everything from the letter A to the O with an accent on it. So I believe that if we match everything from A to Z and Unicode start to Unicode end, there we go. So it's matching this Unicode character to this Unicode character. And I mean, let's just let this really describe how difficult it is to create inclusive kinds of programming like this, because ASCII, or the American Standard for Character something something, does not take characters like O with an accent into account. And as No Sé Programar very correctly says, why is always everything so English-centered? This is why we have workarounds, but unfortunately they are very tricky to work around. But it is possible. And that's why, going back to it, why so much of the time forms leave out the accent in my name. Whew. We'll do one or two more questions. How would you determine if you're on a character class at the beginning of a regex? We already saw that with the caret. So caret, whoop, where's my caret? There we go. So if I wanted to match any letter from A to Z at the beginning of a string, so let's look at this pattern real quick. It's saying, hey, check the beginning of the string for any character between A and Z. If it matches, put it in. And there it is, the letter R in my name. But if it starts with a 4, it will not match. I love this. Carlos is like a human MDN. It's true. Okay, any other questions? I think we can do one more. Can we console the greedy stuff to see the differences? That's a great question. Thanks, Simplicity. Let's do that. Where is that? Lazy matching. Right, we have this one here. Console log result. Oh, and Alan's going to ask, can you explain like I'm 5 for recursion? It still gets me a bit confused. Yes, we'll do that one. Don't worry, Alan. And then I'm done, I promise. Okay, so we're console logging that. Winter is coming. That looks good. Let's put in the G there to make sure that it's matching more than one. Fabulous. What if I want to have text.match my regex with a question mark? That's giving us H1 and not H1. Close H1. And if we console log this, take a look, null, because there's nowhere in this string that a open is immediately followed by a close. Yeah? So that's how those work. Oh, wait, you wanted the, oh, sorry, the dot. My bad. Oops. There we go. So there's no pattern here where a open is matched, is then followed by one character and then closed. But if I remove that H1 and I just turned it into H, check it out, then it would match. That's how it works. Cool. Let's do Alan's question because I did see it and I didn't want to miss it. Let's do recursion. It still gets me a bit confused. Funny you should mention recursion because I want to give a huge shout out to Sil, who has been answering so many questions on Discord and on the forum. Let's take a look at a tool that she gave to us called the Python Tutor Code Visualizer. So we've got a piece of code here called recursion. And what it does is it's called recursion, the function, and it takes one parameter called sum. And what it should do is print out the sum of 3 and all of the numbers all the way down to 1. So it'll do, for example, it should do 3 plus 2 plus 1. Now, we got an escape. We've got an escape clause. If sum is equals to 1, then we return 1. If not, it'll return the number sum plus the value of calling recursion with a parameter of sum minus 1. Now, here's what's cool about this visualizer. I'm going to put that in the chat, by the way, before I forget. Yeah. So let's visualize our execution. Running the code. Okay. Now check this out. It's stepping line by line through the code to show us what's happening. So first, it lands here, calling recursion with the parameter 3. So far, so good. Click on next, and now we are checking, is sum is equals to 1? And we're seeing here recursion with sum 3. Is sum equals to 1? No, it's not. So it will go to the next one and be like, okay, let's return sum, which remember is 3, plus calling the result of calling recursion with sum minus 1. So it's going to call sum with the parameter of 2. Is 2 equals to 1? No. So it'll step to the next step, and you'll see the arrows moving. It's just so cool. So it'll return sum, which is 2, plus recursion with sum minus 1. So now it's calling sum with 1. Is sum equals to 1? Yes. So it will return 1. So now we're back up here. We're returning the value of 1. Now it's going to return, we're back up a step. It's going to return recursion of sum minus 1, which is 1, plus sum, which is 2. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So calling recursion with 2 gives us 3. We'll go back up a step, because now we're returning recursion of sum minus 1, which is 2, which we know to be 3, plus sum, which is 3. So calling recursion with a value of 3 returns 3 plus recursion 2, which gives us 2 plus recursion 1, which returns 1. So 2 plus recursion 1, which is 1, gives us 3. And 3 plus recursion 2, which is 3, gives us 6. Play around with this. You can write any code in here. You can use it for loops. You can use it for recursion. You can use it for complicated functions, whatever you like. Again, huge shout out to Sil for answering questions on Discord and the forum and giving us this tool. Much appreciated. So that wraps up for today, but Junaid says something here. I find it very tedious to use the Discord to interact. Really lagging behind due to this. What can I do? Now, we give you the option of using Discord. We give you the option of using the forum. This is what I find a good way to be able to ask questions and interact with your fellow learners. But if it's not for you, I want to assure you that's totally okay. You can stick to just the forum. Let me take a second to, am I logged into the forum? Classcentral.com. All right, let me open up here. But here I am. I'm not logged in, unfortunately, but I just want to assure you of something. If you don't want to use the Discord, that is totally fine. But you can create topics. I think there's a button here. You can create topics and ask questions, as people have done. Can we post our questions? This lets you work in a non-synchronous way. People are also posting their answers and questions to stuff in the forum. Absolutely use this. And I want to talk about lagging behind, because you're not. This is self-paced. You can take your time as much as you need. There's no set time for when you need to get the certification. There's no set time for the projects. I'm doing this in 6 weeks for the live streams, but we'll stick around after that. There will be the possibility to ask further questions, give further help, and explain things. So don't worry about Discord if it's not for you. This is why we offer the option. Let's wrap up. Again, homework. Finish regular expressions. Tomorrow, Same time, we will do the palindrome checker. Feel free to go ahead and try to do the project today as well. If you run into any problems or solutions, remember that's what Discord and the forum are for. If not, I will say, other than that, I will say thank you very much. It's been a joy as always. Keep on learning, keep on practicing. And if you feel frustrated, remember, we're all in this and we all feel frustrated at times. It is absolutely okay to be frustrated. Learning is frustrating. Okay? Everybody, take care of yourselves. Get lots of rest. Wish you all the best. See you at the next one. Bye.